Well, you and JJ mentioned a guy. I've heard this guy's name bandied about. His
Yeah,
name
but
is Zion.
we're probably the only ones that have said it in a Warriors context. I haven't seen anyone say it in a Warriors context, but I think our main point in that text chat was like, you're not going to do anything. There's no move out there that makes you feel good, that makes you feel like, you know, like every move you make, there's going to be a lot of risk, specifically where the Warriors are at right now, because they don't, they're not at a winning position. They don't have leverage in any of these deals. So any deal they make is going to make us feel a little uneasy based on how many picks they give up or how many players they have to give up in order to reach a certain number for a salary. So everything is like there's no move out there again that's going to make you feel like, oh, we didn't give up that much, and oh, this player is like, we're sure about this player. No, it's going to be, giving up. Brooklyn has high leverage. If you want Cam Johnson, might even take 2 first-round picks based on how many people want that guy. Jimmy Butler, it's like, okay, it's going to be picks, Wiggins, and you might not even guarantee that you have that guy, that much in the regular season. He wants an extension. So me and JJ were like, well, what about Zion Williamson? And of course we're not in the Pelicans mix, so I don't know where he stands with them right now. I do know that he just got suspended for being out too late in Philadelphia. I do know that he gets an injury about every season that takes him out for at least 35 to 40 games.
I think he's only played one season where he's like played over 60 games, and it was last year.
And it's like year 2. I think it was his second. Oh, it was last year?
I think it was last year, yeah.
And so I think we were just saying, like, Zion's like, it's high risk, high reward. It's like, I don't know how much they value him, how much it would take to move off of him. I know they have very promising talent, and like Trey Murphy, who they might be okay with saying, I don't know if Trey Murphy's going to be a 1 in his career, but he damn sure looks like he has all the tools to do it. But
if he's your number 2 and you have a really good
I think
number
you feel
1,
good.
you feel good.
But then that kind of takes us away from our point where it's like, okay, sure, you don't feel good about Zion as like right now, but Zion at his best is a number 1. I've seen it. And so I guess then, yeah, you maybe wouldn't feel good about moving off of him. But yeah, it would be like, okay, if you want to do the trade that doesn't make you feel good about it, let's double down on that, because there is high risk, high reward potential here.
It doesn't sound like a Dunleavy-esque or a Bob Myers-ish kind of move. That's a move that you make when your town is just devoid of a superstar and you need something to sell tickets. And the Warriors have Steph, so you don't really have to do that. Though, I would love to see a version of Zion next to Draymond, but not only on the court, also off the court, like
behind
Draymond
the scenes,
as the ultimate professional. Well, and some people would probably say, well, how is Draymond a professional? But Draymond, Draymond plays. Draymond is an undersized 4 who has to also play center. And Draymond understands all of the tricks of the trade. Would Zion buy into it? I based on his his history, probably not. But that would be interesting to me to see Zion underneath Draymond. Now that they could also come to blows at the same time, and it would just blow up in the Warriors' face. So that's why, I think the risk in this case is higher than the reward. And it just doesn't sound Warriors-y. But if you look at
Steph,
I feel like
Dunleavy hasn't made. I was just gonna say, I feel like Dunleavy hasn't. Yeah, you're right. Like he hasn't made any. Like there's been no risk in his offseason acquisitions, his draft picks. Like he was behind the Pajemski, Trace Jackson Davis picks, and those were guys who were not freshmen and didn't really have like this high potential. It was kind of more like high floor. Pajemski a little bit, but then the offseason acquisitions and Kyle Anderson, Buddy Hield, Melton, and then the trade for Schroeder. We didn't give up a first round pick. It was just like a second and Melton, and like there hasn't been any high risk trades. Like the CP one, like you had to do it. You had to do something.
The CP trade was a by the book, like cap management / smart GM Moneyball maneuver. Like that's what that was.
No, I wouldn't even say smart GM Moneyball. I'd say smart GM understanding the locker room, because if you look at that trade right now, they gave up Patrick Baldwin Jr., sure. I don't know what he's doing over there. That's technically a first round pick, in my opinion, because he was a first round pick like that year. And then they also gave up like a 2030 first round pick or something like that. So that's already two firsts. And Ryan Rollins, sure, that guy's, he's on the Bucks now. I don't know. And Jordan Poole for CP. Like, you gave up two first round picks in JP for a guy who was here for a year and he didn't manage or use his expiring. So I'd say bad trade, but good trade, if that makes sense. Like, you had to, but like, I'm still not that impressed.